Elemental Flow Show. My name is JP, and this is Holly. How come you seem to be moving a little bit slow today?
Yeah, I went to a rage room.
Rage room. Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was very therapeutic. Yeah, I guess I was storing some anger in the body that I wasn't aware of until I went to make a list of all the things that I could possibly be angry about still, and the list just like flowed out of me, just so effortless. It was really long. So I went with a girlfriend of mine, and we both made a list, and then we were reading each other's list to us, like while we were hacking away and breaking things and screaming, and it was wonderful.
Swinging for the fences.
Yeah, I'm sore. I'm like moving in slow motion. All the muscles in my lower back are like.
Yeah. It sounds like you need to go back in the ring.
Yeah. It was hardcore, but you know, I don't feel like I injured myself. I just feel like I maybe just overworked the muscles a little bit. But yeah, there was some times where I kind of wish I would have paced myself a little bit, or just did like a straight through swinging bat or something, you know, because we were swinging like bats and crowbars and sledgehammers. We were breaking TVs and throwing. Anyway, it was really good though, because you know, she would read my list to me, and she would say. She would be like, well, here's, you know, this thing that makes you mad. And like, I would be hitting something, and about like the fifth time I hit something, I needed more fuel. I was like, all right, I got that out. I'm out of the way. I'm not mad anymore. So then I would be like, okay, give me something else. You know, I'm not mad about that. And then she'd be like, she'd say something else. And it wasn't enough, like, to at the moment get me angry, and I'll be like, just keep coming, because. And another thing that kept happening is like, as I was hitting things and breaking things, and like in this mad rage that I purposely got myself into, that way I could like release the anger that's maybe stored in the body. I was seeing how I could have avoided or stopped every situation. Like every bad thing that I thought somebody did to me, as I'm sitting there like so mad, and I'm just like, oh, you know, tearing something up, it dawned on me like how I could have said something or did something, or maybe I could have done this exact thing and just started breaking something, and whatever was going on probably would have stopped in its tracks. So I kind of saw where maybe I was to blame for some of it, because a lot of it I allowed to happen, and you know, I didn't even make an effort to stop it. And so yeah, I just
Because of what? Why do you think that you didn't make an effort? You froze, type of thing?
You know, sometimes you just want it to be over with, or you think you're going to make things worse, so you just kind of you know, allow. And maybe that's not always the best approach. Maybe sometimes you should act like a freaking maniac for a minute. You know what I mean? Especially if it's gonna do some good, and if whatever's happening needs to stop. And it was just a really big lesson of like standing up for myself. You know, and I'm sure after that rage room, if I could go back in time and you know, kind of relive some of those situations again, I would probably react a little bit differently. And you know, you want to have grace in your reactions, and you want to have control over your emotions, and sometimes that can come at an expense, because then you're not standing up for yourself. Sometimes you need to get mad and do something about it.
I think that's accurate, but I think you also have to like not let the emotion take you over.
Yeah.
You know, unless somebody's physically assaulting you.
Right, for sure. Always be aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Be sure you want to be doing this while you're doing it, you know.
Yeah.
Before and while. But yeah, I'm paying the price a little bit today. But you know what though? There's like certain things that hurt me, like on a regular basis, like leftover boxing injuries, and those things aren't hurting anymore. So I don't know.
Everything else is hurting that much more.
No, I just think like, okay, for example, I was in a boxing match. I'm not going to say who against, but I did something dirty in a boxing match. I was frustrated because my opponent was doing dirty things. And so I just, I like tied her up, and I was like, I want to say this out loud. I was maybe trying to break her arm. I was like mad, and I was like in a lock, and I was trying to like pop the bottom part of it. Anyway, it backfired on me, and something popped in my elbow, and that was like, a decade ago. And it gets stuck at like almost open, and then I have to click it and it pops really hard. And it happens like maybe once a week. And every time it happens, I'm like, that's what you get, Holly, because like I know what my intentions were in that moment. And it was just a big lesson for me. So yeah, that it hasn't, I don't know, it's only been a few days. It hasn't done it since, and it feels good. So maybe there was like some anger at myself like locked in there, and I
couldn't release it.
Right. I do think that things get stored in the body, like anger, and it just blocks the flow of energy. I think you just when you don't allow the outlet of like or just reacting in some way, then I think it gets stored in there, and then all the little things add up, and
layers.
And they can seem like big things when they're not, because it's a lot of layers, right?
How else would you deal with stress in a more conventional way, or something that you don't have to go swing like a maniac?
Right. Yeah. I really was like rethinking that, because even though it was therapeutic, I'm glad I did it. I don't think I would go do it again. Don't take it back. I'm happy I did it. But next time, honestly, hitting the heavy bag, there's been times where, you just sit there and fuel yourself, and you're mad about something, and you just hit the heavy bag, and you can get it out that way too. Screaming into a pillow, punching a pillow, these are things that you're probably less likely to hurt yourself. And I think we should
I used to have
first.
kind of a access to a rage room. We used to practice cutting cars in a junkyard, and for competition. And you had junk cars all over the place, so we just, you feel a certain way about something, you're just frustrated, you grab a sledgehammer and you start beating on a car. Man, you feel great. You put that thing down after about 5-7 minutes, you're like,
Yeah.
all right, I feel good. So, and I missed that. And at the time, I didn't know rage rooms didn't exist, but we did that all the time.
Yeah.
And it felt good.
Yeah. It's it reminds me of a story. I got to tell you guys this. So there's this my best friend growing up. She was gonna get into a fight with another girl, and they the girls like got all her redneck brothers. They pull up on my driveway, and we go down and meet them, and it's maybe like 9 or 10 people. We're like 13, I guess, and the two girls, they're gonna fight. This has been like brewing for a while, and they are hitting each other. They go at it, right? And after about, I want to say about 2 minutes, both of them were just standing there, breathing really hard and looking at each other. And then they just crack up laughing, right? And they hug each other. And like they had been enemies for, several months, just kind of, this fight brewing. And there's something to say about like getting rid of the anger, expressing the anger and allowing it to like flow through your body, and then it's gone. You dealt with it. And then you're just sitting there looking at your opponent, and you're tired, and you're like, we really don't have a problem anymore. There's other ways to, to like end a fight, I guess, like having a little bit of crazy, like pulling out a little bit of, wah! You know what I mean? Just pulling out a little bit of, you and your friend, y'all are about to bump heads over something, and you just like go into some crazy little move, and then, y'all crack up, and now y'all don't need to fight. So there's better ways than duking it out, for sure. many different ways to express anger, and sometimes, yeah, just striking a wacky fight pose is just can nip it all in the bud.
Yeah. You seem to always be doing something. Do you find it hard or difficult to just sit quietly?
Sit quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I need to be at a place where everybody's meditating in order to make myself meditate a lot. Yeah, I'm kind of bad about that, but um, yeah, it's the culture. You feel like if you're not busy, then you're
Not productive.
right. You're not moving towards the life that you want. Especially if there's certain things in your life that you don't prefer them to be that way. Then I just feel like if I'm not spending like a certain amount of time every day on to fix those things, then I'm doing myself a disservice. I'm just gonna keep staying still and stay exactly where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cultural thing for sure. Certain cultures, they push to bring, the whole nation up. I think the Japanese are kind of infamous for that a little bit also.
Yeah.
And I think we have borrowed from that example as well. But there's lots of countries where, like I think in Europe, maybe Spain, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all the stores shut down, everybody goes in for a little siesta, and things open back up around 6. And then they get dinner going. Dinner's, I think, around 10.
Yeah, and a lot of those countries, their dinners are like 3 and 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they really like make it count and make family time count.
Yeah.
In a lot of other countries, the family unit stays together a lot longer than here in the United States. Like here, it's pretty common for an 18-year-old to move out of their parents' home and start paying all of their own utilities, and every single bill that the parents are paying now the kid is now paying, and yeah, it's a really hard life to get started.
Yeah. Well, I think the economy is changing that a little bit, where you're going to see kids sticking around a lot longer because property values and taxes and
Yeah.
cost of living is so high nowadays that I think you're seeing a trend towards, family compounds, where, the kids got a little efficiency in the back and they hang out a lot longer.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more families that are staying together, mostly for financial reasons, but I think that the family unit is a little better off now than, say, even whenever I was a kid, because there's a lot of things that are no longer socially acceptable. Like even one thing that could be up for debate, if it's socially acceptable and maybe even borderline illegal, is like just spanking, right? I mean, spanking is like, when I was a kid, and I'm sure when you were a kid, our parents didn't think twice about it. They weren't ever like, "Oh, this might be illegal," or "This might create animosity when my kid grows up," or there was no regard for that whatsoever. And it's not just about spanking; it's about, I just think that mental health is more on the forefront now, and it seems like the parents care more about their kids' happiness now, and than they used to. Used to, it was more like
In this country.
in this country. Yeah.
Because
So-
you travel abroad and it's a different thing depending on where you're at.
right.
And yeah, who's to say what's right or what's wrong? We'll see once this generation, comes out and see how they end up.
Yeah. Trying to say some of them need their butt whooped.
You don't know. You don't know. Everybody
Yeah.
takes things differently, and
For sure.
it's
Yeah.
context. So
Yeah.
you can't say this is the path or this is the way, because everything's always evolving and changing, and
Yeah.
you seem to
But
be
I
climbing.
think you can say this is the way when it comes to just being respectful at all times.
Yeah.
To every living thing.
Yeah.
I think if you can just, make that a standard, then you avoid a lot of problems and even parenting problems. Respect that child at all time. That is a human being and deserves respect. So discipline if you must, but I think maintaining that respect should be should be mandatory. We should all treat each other with respect, and animals too. I think everybody deserves respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, except that steak that I respectfully put in my stomach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing, don't want to offend the vegans out there or the vegetarians, but yeah, it's nourishment, and I don't think, me personally, I don't think it should be. You should be thankful for the animal sacrifice, but I don't think it's anything that you need to, stay up at night thinking about and.
Yeah, beat yourself up
Yeah.
over. Yeah, I'm so torn. I grew up on a farm, and
So it should be easy for you.
well, but they were my friends.
Yeah.
I was pretty lonely out there, and yeah, maybe I wish I would have had like more kids my age to play with instead of goats and turkeys and whatever. But you make the best of what you have, and I really would love the animal, and then whenever I was cooking it, I knew which animal I was cooking, and I remembered my memories with that animal, and I felt a lot of guilt. But then, I tried to be vegetarian for some years, and then I had my first health problem, and I was like, yeah, maybe I should not be vegetarian.
Well, you can get all the nourishment you need, but you got to eat a lot. If it's just vegetables, you got to eat a lot.
Right, and they're very gassy.
Yeah.
Vegetables are.
Where you eat a piece of steak and you're getting, everything that, if you ate vegetables all day, you're getting the same amount of nourishment in that
Right.
piece of steak.
I wasn't necessarily eating that healthy when I was a vegetarian. I was eating a lot of fried vegetables and
That's
dipped
how
in all
you
these yummy sauces.
got around it.
Yeah, yeah. I realized that you can make anything taste like anything if you fry it and dip it in a good sauce.
Yeah. It's texture. So, what kind of projects are you working on now?
So yeah, we had a busy last couple weeks with a lot of events and got those out of the way.
Very tiring.
Yeah, a lot of sound baths and just healing sort of events and dancing events. We're into a little bit of everything. But lately, I've been working on filming. I'm filming what's called Virtual Boxing University. So it's like an entire training program from the ground up for boxers who maybe have never had on a pair of gloves before and just want to learn to box in a very technically accurate way. And also, I'm shooting more advanced series also for professional fighters and MMA fighters to work on their stand-up and all that. So it's a lot of videos, and it's coming together really well. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. It should do well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Hall of Fame and see if I can get because I'm being inducted in Vegas in October, and I'm gonna take my camera and see if I can get some of the world champions to show me their coolest move or something like that. See if they can teach my viewers how to do whatever they think is their coolest move and
Little cameos.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, life in general is pretty busy, but also real estate's picking up. Market's starting to shift a little bit.
Yeah.
And got done with one deal that was a little bit tiring. Showed many properties.
Yeah.
But we managed to bring it to the table and close it, and that was nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, have a couple more potential clients on the line right now, and we're doing our best to get them what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You enjoy real estate, don't you?
I do. It's nice. It's a big change from what I'm used to, and just dealing with people on a non-emergency basis is nice.
Right.
Yeah. And you know, you're helping them get, you know, to where they want to be,
Right.
and you know, make
Yeah.
it as stress-free as possible for them.
That's one of my favorite things about doing real estate. It's just you're improving the quality of someone's life just by putting them in something nicer. You know, I like to kind of know where they're starting at, and that way I know for sure if I'm upgrading them, and if I'm not, I don't even really want to show them the place that's not an upgrade.
Yeah.
But it does feel good to, you know, improve somebody's life in that way, because where you live, it really affects you. You know, just liking where you live and being comfortable wherever you call home.
Yeah.
Yeah, real estate allows a lot of flexibility in schedule, and you can really kind of have things your way a lot.
If you make it that way, for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
You have to, you know, schedule yourself, your little moments in the day, and do your work. And you got to be disciplined about it, but it's flexibility.
Right. Real estate, I'm sure you're able to get a lot better sleep now because, you know, when you're a firefighter, then you're having to wake up out of your sleep and things are an emergency,
Yeah.
and now you're just like, you know, waking up and checking things that are non-emergency. So
Yeah.
helping.
It's my sleep hasn't been good for a very long time, and I struggle with it all the time. I think it's monkey mind. I have a hard time shutting off my thoughts, and I'm not one of those to take medication for it. You know, I'll drink a hot tea or something, but I don't like to depend on anything.
So what do you do? What's your process?
Lights off. When the sun starts going down in my house, the lights are off.
Yeah.
Yeah, people complain all the time. It's so dark in your house. Yeah, well, it's my circadian. I'm protecting my circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
I try to do things a certain way. You know, kind of like unwind towards the end of the day.
Yeah.
I take magnesium at night. That I do. But that's it's a vitamin, a mineral. And
Anything you avoid taking?
avoid. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do caffeine at all. I haven't done caffeine in decades. Even cacao. If I do cacao, I'll do it early in the morning. I don't do it after 12 o'clock. It's like my cutoff.
Yeah.
And, you know, I try to eat foods that are non-sugary and that satiate you but don't fill you up too much. So
Yeah.
it's a whole process. And I don't know, deep breathing. I try to exercise enough in that day to not exhaust me, but to, you know, just calm the nerves a little bit.
Where your body needs sleep.
Right. I used to the only times I've ever really gotten, you know, 7-8 hours of sleep, I was really exercising myself into a coma. I would bike ride for hours on end.
Yeah, because sleep is the body's regeneration. And if you don't need that much regeneration because you're eating healthy and, you know, not really like breaking your body down too much, then you know, maybe you don't need to sleep as much.
Breakdown. How do you know when that's happening, and how do you...
Well, if you're exercising a lot, like you're a professional athlete and you're, you know, competing multiple times a day or training multiple times a day, or you just have a manual labor job and, you know, if you've got a high energy output, then I think you would probably need more sleep.
At what point can you recognize at what point it's counterproductive? Whereas if you go further, you might risk injury or getting sick or something like that. Because I imagine, you know, you deal with that scenario every time you're in a training camp. You know, you're going. You're also having to work to pay bills.
You really got to listen to your body. You know, you've got to listen to your body to avoid injury. Obviously, anytime you feel like a pinch or you're pushing through discomfort in a joint, instead of in a muscle, then those are things that you need to listen to and not push through, because you're pushing through something and you're tearing new muscle fibers and getting stronger, and your muscles are on fire, and good, push through it. But if you're pushing through and the knee hurts or the shoulder hurts, these are joints, and these aren't things that you're building. You're building the muscles around that area, but yeah, if something like that hurts, then you gotta listen to it and back off. So just, I guess, learning how to listen to your body and take breaks and hydrate properly when you need to. And yeah. But me, I probably shouldn't be giving sleep advice to anyone, because it'll be like I go hard at night and my brain's just in creative mode, and I see the sun and I'm like, and I gotta go to bed now before somebody asks me to do something. Yeah. And so I go, I usually go to bed when it gets light outside. Or I try to go to bed early, but when I go to bed early, it's like probably 3. I don't know. I don't really look at clocks either. Unless I have something planned for that day or something, I'll have like alarms set with enough time to get ready. But other than that, I'm not just like going to ever go look at my phone and be curious, like, what time is it? Because like, what a Debbie Downer, it's like, then you got to think of what you got to do. And, I don't know.
So you live on a perpetual night shift.
Do I? I don't know. I get up when I need to get up. Yeah. I can operate off a few hours of sleep, though. Not for days on end, but
right. Everybody can, but it's not something that you want to get accustomed to, or
yeah, maybe not. I could do better.
We can all do better with sleep, for sure.
Well, thank you for joining us for another episode. And make sure you like, share, subscribe to our channel. That way you can catch more episodes. And this is our 8th episode.
8.
So, 8 weeks in a row. You can catch us every single Thursday at 8 p.m. on Spotify podcast and on YouTube. So thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.